Hello and welcome to our FinovateFall 25 and 5 video interview series. My name is David Penn. I'm a research analyst with Finovate. Joining me today is Vincent Bezemer. He is the SVP of Americas with Backbase. Vincent, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, David.
Absolutely. So before we begin, I thought folks might like to hear just a sentence or two about Backbase, a company that's been around for a while, and a lot of people do know about it, but there are probably some folks who are new, and maybe you could give a little bit of an introduction to the company before we get started.
Yeah, for sure. Backbase has been around 17 years. We're headquartered out of the Amsterdam area in the Netherlands, and we are bringing to market an engagement banking platform, which basically means on top of your data layers, we can bring all that data to your customers, to your employees in the most engaging and frictionless fashion.
Excellent, excellent. And we're going to get the opportunity to talk a little bit more about Backbase in our conversation today, but we're going to have quite a few personal questions that we're going to share with our audience
Dear.
to start with. Are you ready to go?
I am. Let's go, Dave.
All right, starting from the top. What's your favorite meal of the day, breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
Lunch with interesting people.
Ah, there we go. What's your favorite season of the year?
I would say spring. But spring in Boise, Idaho, where I live, is a little bit short, but spring, definitely spring.
Okay. How about your favorite sport or recreational activity, either to watch or to participate in?
Oh, I have been one of those Europeans that fell in love with American football very early.
Ah.
So I played, I coached, I governed, and when I got too old for it, I found Muay Thai.
Oh my goodness. Fantastic. Let's see. What's your favorite vacation spot or getaway?
Pretty much everything with a beach, I would say.
Beaches are nice. If it's
Yeah.
time to relax, are you more likely to read a book or listen to music?
Book, as long as it's not a business book or a self-help book, then it's definitely a book.
Alrighty. Let's see. Do you own a smartwatch?
Yes, Apple. Yeah.
Apple. How about, do you use a robo-advisor for your own personal investing?
Yes, I do. And I actually, that was a pretty confrontational question. But I do realize that I am one of those set and forget type of people. And it's almost like, fantasy football, right? Sometimes having the system pick for you will lead to better results than if you try to be on top of it yourself. So set and forget and let somebody else do the work.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. What's your favorite mode of public transportation?
High-speed train.
Ah.
The luxury of like traveling Europe in a train, seeing a landscape go by, being able to move. Yeah, definitely a high-speed train.
Wow, that sounds hard to beat. Let's see. Do you own more in digital assets like Bitcoin or more in physical assets like gold and silver?
I'm definitely more a crypto guy.
Okay.
But that is more because I don't have too many investments in commodities. But I like the promise that blockchain in general has. So yeah, definitely more focused on that.
Okay. Without naming names, what does your current bank do right?
What do they do right? I think they allow me to engage with them through the channel and the time and the way that I want, right? So it's not that digital is a subset of what the branch can do, and that video chat immediately gets me connected to an amazing person that is knowledgeable, and not that tier one type of person that hands off to the tier two type of people. I think that is, I can engage however I want, and I appreciate that.
Oh, very interesting. On the flip side, what does your current bank need to do a little bit better?
I think this is with every bank and credit union. Like, how can you be there for the real moments of truth, right? Like, how can you understand what I'm dealing with and have a relevant product offering, right? Like, it happens too many times when, early life, I needed a car loan, right? And I want to stay with my bank, but they don't have competitive rates compared to somebody else, right? And I would always wish that if they could see my moments of truth of like buying a house or sharing the wealth with family or whatever it is, then they can be proactive about it and actually have an offering that makes sense to me. So be there for my moments of truth in my life.
Excellent and well put as well. Who would you say is the most inspirational person in technology for you right now?
I would say our CEO, Jout Pleiter. Because and that is not me kissing the proverbial body part, but that is really because else I wouldn't work for it. Else I would find that inspirational person and I would apply for a job there. I want to grow, I want to learn, I want to get better, and that means attach yourself to the best people out there. So yeah.
Oh, excellent, excellent. What would you say is the best city for technology startups that nobody knows about?
Boise, Idaho. But don't come here. It's not beautiful. It's a terrible lifestyle. No, it's growing so much, and we're seeing a lot of like Silicon Valley people that basically say like, yeah, I can develop out of my house. I can. So I would say this is probably one of the hidden gems there, and I for a fact know that a lot of Boiseans will probably not like me pitching my city, but it's an amazing life and an amazing skill set that can be found here. Also, as Backbase, we never really intended to do much here, but we have a big office now, and we're growing and growing. So yeah.
Wow, very interesting pick. What's your most unpopular or controversial technology opinion?
Wow. I believe that digital and platforms and customer experience, all of that at the end of the days can be reduced to self-directiveness. People are going to vote with their wallets, and if they can't engage the way they want to, they will move on, right? And I think you should not focus too much on journeys and all that type of stuff as a departing point. You should start with understanding, how do my customers want to be served? What are they expecting from me? What is their level of self-directiveness? And cater to that, whatever that then means for your institution.
Yeah, very interesting. Now, what would you be doing if you weren't involved in fintech?
Coach football. I would be at a high school. I would be coaching the kids. Because that is probably one of the most fulfilling things that you can do, right? Like use a sport, use a passion, and guide people in the right direction for their lives, right? Whether it's attitude, behavior, but also grades and just focus in life, and especially with young men, that is sometimes hard, right? Like how do you motivate a young man between 14 and maybe like 21, college kids? Many parents out there are eagerly awaiting that recipe, but I think it's super fulfilling to be a coach and be a part of young people's lives.
Oh, I believe that. Let's talk a little bit about Backbase. What problem does your company solve, and who does it solve it for?
We address any financial institution, bank or credit union that is reasonably sizable. So let's say $1 billion assets under management and up. And what we really help them solve with is that they often feel that they are locked in, like they cannot work with their current technology partners to innovate or just tweak certain business processes. And our engagement banking platform really ensures that there is full control, full flexibility, and that they really can leverage the innovation inside of their own organization, or the Backbase innovation, or third-party fintech innovation for that matter, and orchestrate that value into something that is just beautiful and frictionless and just makes people happy to do business.
Yeah, excellent. Now, following up on that, what would you say is the most unique aspect of Backbase's technology?
There are many things, but I'm slightly more a technologist than a business person. So I appreciate that Backbase has everything in one code base, one platform, one architecture, one skill set for your teams, one change management. And you can from there do retail, business, commercial, wealth, process digitization like collections and disputes, but also origination type of things, whether it's like equipment loans or leasing or credit card mortgages, all on one platform. And that obviously creates all the economies of scales and really creates an environment where like secure messaging becomes an enterprise capability that you can deploy throughout your organization, that also your employees can work in. And that gives you the benefit of like, customer 360, big data. You always know what is happening there. So the one platform. We're not going to acquire companies to obtain technology. We're going to build it ourselves.
Excellent. Now let's look at the other side of the equation. What would you say is the most important part about building a strong team?
Sense of purpose.
Hmm.
that we all can rally behind a goal, that we know how we're going to reach it, that everybody knows what they individually need to do, what the expectations are. So yeah, sense of purpose is probably the biggest thing, because that elevates the mission. Well, that elevates the task into a mission. And I think
Hmm.
that brings out the best out of people.
Right, right. What would you say is your biggest professional takeaway from last year, from 2020?
Well, one, how resilient people are.
Yeah.
There are a lot of challenges being thrown our way, and whether you are a parent with kids, or maybe single and not having a social life,
Mm,
obviously dealing with working from home in certain instances. I think the resiliency of our people at Backbase, and larger in the ecosystem, has really made me very proud.
mm,
But to also share a downer with you, I think we at Backbase have seen that our productivity actually has increased
mm,
in Corona times, so that's super healthy from a business perspective. But I sometimes feel that creativity is hurting, right? Like these
mm,
moments where you can have the water cooler talk, or just have a
mm,
brainstorm
mhm.
session, or challenge each other. Those moments are increasing or decreasing, and it's hard to set up an infrastructure that fosters that creative thinking. So yeah, I'm definitely a little bit concerned on that side.
Ah, very interesting observation. Where do you see Backbase in the next 2 to 3 years?
Backbase will obviously continue to grow. I think we are displaying many really successful use cases, very healthy ROIs attached to it, whether it's for an international bank like Royal Bank of Canada or Goldman Sachs, or whether it's for a super regional like KeyBank, but also small credit unions that are finding like, yeah, I have this ambition. I want to compete like a national bank, and
Mhm.
so Backbase market share will continue to grow there, as basically being the stable, reliable partner that always delivers and that has the right technology set to facilitate that. I think that more analysts will pick us up. They will talk about us more favorably. And I also think that with our growth, we've been able to attract more people that can really help banks and credit unions figuring out where their major digital challenges are, right? It's on a very pragmatic level, right? So as Salesforce calls this Ignite, we are that business consultancy services, that building value. I definitely believe that is a strong suit of Backbase. We will continue to grow the ecosystem around us, be pre-integrated, be a one-stop shop, ease your vendor management challenges. But by and large, we will stay the course, and we will be more visible in the market.
Excellent. Now let's take a look at some more personal questions. Are you a cat person, a dog person, neither, or both?
Definitely dog. Yeah.
Uh, Alrighty. If you were a famous artist, would you more likely be a novelist slash writer, an actor slash director, or singer slash musician?
You're pigeonholing me there a little bit, David. But so I am going to throw the curveball back. I would probably be more like a sculptor or maybe an
Ah,
architect.
excellent.
I want to build something that people can see and use. Yeah, I'm not that much of an attention seeker, although maybe some colleagues will beg to differ.
Let's see. What's your favorite holiday of the year?
Um, Yeah, I would say 4th of July,
Ah,
especially as a European. And I still, even though I consider myself also American, I'm still also Dutch. So to
mhm.
be a guest in your country, and celebrate something that was so important in establishing the country, and that, family and friends focus of that day, and just hanging and being and enjoying each other's company. That's yeah, that means much more to me than the forced Thanksgiving dinners or the Christmases where people maybe not even liking each other, and there's always this one uncle type of thing, right? So yeah, 4th of July, absolutely.
Oh, interesting pick. And what are you looking forward to most in your personal or life plans here in 2021?
Yeah, I definitely look forward to surround myself with people that that I can learn from, but also that I can have an impact on, right? So I'm a father of two young girls, 7 and 8. So it's that age that you want to be there for them, coach them, give them life advice, all that type of stuff. And luckily, they're still very receptive of that. But also with my friends and family, right? Like I grew up in a way that I didn't really have that coaching. I had to figure out a lot of stuff on my own. Just being there for people and sometimes reflect, like, dude, what are you doing type of stuff, or sometimes just like, hey, have you considered this, or and those are sometimes well, not sometimes, those are often the most meaningful conversations I have in my private life. So I'm looking forward to keep on having them, and obviously not be preachery or something about it, but just be a good friend, be a good dad, and that makes my life complete. And that's I don't think that you can, or maybe even should, attain too much more than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. And then our last question, what is your favorite thing about being a part of FinovateFall this year?
What I'm what I'm actually looking very much forward to is that when you have a thought-provoking session, or when you have an epiphany and something kind of gels together, that's already a benefit that you get out of Finovate. But it's actually the talking that you do with peers around it. Like, hey, have you seen that session? What do you think about it? How is there anything that you can apply, and how are you going to apply it? And learn about those kind of often not asked and not answered questions is actually I think the biggest benefit of bringing a bunch of like industry leading, thought-provoking people together. So yeah, I'm super stoked.
Yeah, very good. That really echoes the point you made earlier about creativity and the possibility of getting folks around in those sort of unscripted moments to really just exchange those ideas and impressions. I think that's a fantastic answer.
Thank you.
Very good. Well, thank you very much for participating in our 25 and 5. We love having Backbase as a part of Finovate over the years, and we're certainly looking forward to seeing you back in person at Finovate next month in New York here in September.
Absolutely. And for anybody at the conference, if you want to chat, just approach me. I'm always willing to exchange ideas.